Hey friends, thank you so much for your votes on the chicken coop that I lost. But I didn't really lose because Michael's having to build me a chicken coop today.
Oh. The chicken coop idea that Laine had, those storage buildings are just way too valuable. And I didn't want to move them. They look good there at the house.
So we're going to build an ugly chicken coop today.
Yeah, so I looked up chicken coop ideas, DIY chicken coops, and I was trying to find something simple, also something that we could move. Kind of like a chicken tractor, if you've ever heard of those. You just kind of move them around. It's not like a stationary, really heavy thing. This is temporary for us because of the fact that we are here at the Moonshack currently. This is where we want to have the chickens. Say hello, Grady. He's going to be my helper today, along with everybody else. There's actually some other homesteaders that is called Living Traditions Homestead. They are from Ava, Missouri, or they live in Ava, Missouri. And I went to their channel, and they have something called the Chicken Hoop Coop. So that's what we're going to do today, is a chicken hoop coop. Got the idea from them. However, I'm not going to build one quite as large as theirs. Theirs is a little big, and it's going to be harder to move, he said.
We have to move ours in like 2 weeks.
Yes,
that's
because
literally how temporary this is.
This is going to be really temporary. And then we've got to move it up to family, my parents' house, up the hill, because then we have plans where we're going to be gone, and so they're going to have to take care of the chickens for us.
Yeah, so that's that. So let's do it.
So let's show them our chickens.
Let's build a chicken coop.
This is what our chickens have been living in for 6 weeks.
These are the nice ones.
Yeah, the yellow ones are the nice ones.
So Grady, what kind of chickens do we have?
Easter eggers. What was the other one
And
called?
these are the Buff Orpingtons.
Buff Orpingtons.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit nicer, but the Easter eggers are supposed to lay green and blue eggs, so I'm excited about that.
So they're a little confined in here. It was great whenever they were really small because we got them whenever they were babies. But now they are way too big for this dog crate that we have them in. And so we have got to get this coop built ASAP. So what I love about the chicken hoop coop is the fact that I already had a lot of these materials. So I didn't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of different things to build this. Also, what I like about it is that it's something that is very DIY and very cost effective and very easy. Because of the time constraint that we are in and everything else we got going on, I just wanted to have something simple to make, and I got it. Okay, so let's talk about some of the material. So I have 4 2x4s that were 10 feet long. I cut them down to 101 inches. That comes out to a little over 8 feet. So a little over 8 foot square is what I've got. I've got the 2 cattle panels. These are 16 feet by 50 inches wide. Then I have some more 2x4s that are 8 feet long, and I'll show you what we're going to use those for, but it's basically going to be for some bracing that are going to go up and down. It's going to be some bracing for the back end of it. I have a tarp. I got some chicken wire. I have a tin snip. I also have this hanger strap, or pipe hanger. It just depends on what you want to call it. But I've got some of that, and I'm cutting those down into sections, and I'll show you what I'm going to use those for. I also have some hog rings. That's going to be to make sure that I get the panels fastened together. I have a gate latch. Gate latch, and I guess that's it. Oh, and I just have some hinges that I'm going to be making a door with. And I've got a bunch of 3-inch screws and 2-inch screws that I'm going to be using as well.
So, since we figured out who poopied?
Not me.
Not you! The first thing we're going to do on the coop is we're using 3-inch screws, and we're just going to fasten our boards.
Hey.
2x4s, right?
Hey, Mom,
Yep.
can I help?
When Mommy gets involved, everybody wants to get involved.
Okay, Gabriel, come here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. All right, one more. Are you holding it super tight? Oh, use all your muscles.
2 more corners.
All right, are we ready?
No, not me.
Okay, let's get them nice and flush. Okay.
So the next step in the process is these cattle panels, and we're going to stand them up. Now, one thing we like about this also is that this coop is going to be tall enough for us to walk into.
Yay!
So we don't have to like
I'm in this too.
Yeah,
duck down.
he's in this too.
Okay, and then put your end on the inside of that board. All the way up in the corner. Okay.
it.
Bring mine.
Do it. Do it.
Like so.
Woohoo! Ah, look at that. Can we stand?
So yeah, we'll be able to stand. I'm about 6 feet tall, and that's about what this is going to be.
I like it.
The next step, and this is why I made these, I cut these pipe hangers. Like I actually got this idea from the Living Traditions homestead. So what we use these for is instead of using fence staples, you know, where it's just like a U shape and you hammer it in, what I'm going to use is these. I'll put a screw in each side of it and fasten it that way.
I want to help with you.
Okay, thanks, Bubba.
You're welcome. It's heavy.
Oh, it's a heavy. Okay. Oh, hang on, let Daddy get it on there, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
No,
Screw.
okay. I can do it with you.
Okay. All right, don't push the button yet. Ready, set, go. Okay. Good job, dude.
Now me another one.
Yep, now I gotta do more.
Screw.
I will, buddy, when I'm ready. So here's what it looks like using those pipe hangers. Just now, I did realize I had a feeling they would go through, but I am using 2-inch screws. I probably should have used something smaller. However, like I said, I'm using what I have, and I had 2-inch. So I can clip off the ends or hammer them down, but it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Now, another reason why I'm doing it this way is because of the fact that, see my finger? Laine loves it when I do that.
I can't stand it.
So when I make a fist and I try to open my hand, my middle finger does not want to open. And it happened, I can tell you when it happened. It happened whenever I was hammering in all the joist hangers for our deck, because I probably had 400 of those to hammer in. And you're smiling at me.
No,
Like-
I just don't want you to
Like
do it
she's like,
again.
oh, you're just getting old.
No, I mean he is, but he's still a hot son of
Oh,
a gun,
yeah.
I tell you. But
So
it's a real thing, and we don't want to make it worse.
So I haven't been to the doctor to get medication or a shot. I feel like something's got to happen, but that's another reason I don't really want to do a lot of hammering, is because of my finger. So screwing these in is just going to be a whole lot easier on my hand. Go to that side. Is that for chickens?
Yeah.
So next what we're doing is using hog rings, and this is what I'm using to fasten the two panels together. And it's a pretty simple thing. You just put them in, use some pliers, squeeze them together, and just press it and make it tight, and it'll hold those two panels together. So we're just going to do that every other one through here, and do that.
Boom shakalaka.
Now it's time to set the door frame. And so we were just trying to think of like how wide do we want our door. This can be dependent upon you.
No.
I have seen where people have used old like screen doors and placed them on this. It, you know, it makes the door go above the actual chicken coop. But we're just gonna make our own. I think I can make it out of the same hog panel. I've got some extra over there. But anyway, so I just stick it up here and then just basically mark where the hog panel is on both sides. And then I'll just make my cut right through there. And I'll do the same thing for the other 2x4 we have over here. Okay. Oh, I forgot to plug it.
Oh. I had my eyes closed because look where all that was going.
You're so cutie. You're so cutie. Hey, look, this one's liking me.
Yeah, she likes me.
Bye-bye.
I wasn't thinking earlier when we was trying to figure out this door frame. What we should have done first was measure. So the distance from here to here is 101 inches. Divided in half is obviously 50.5 inches. So we marked the 50.5, and then we said we want roughly a 3-foot door. So we put 1.5 on center and then made a mark on each end for 3 foot. Then, see, here's our mark, our 3-foot mark on this side. And so then we stuck our door frame on the inside of that mark. We're going to do that on the other side. And then we used our level to level it up and to fasten it on top. I just used the exact same, the pipe. I used the pipe hanger. Laine's laughing at me because I forgot what it's called. The pipe hanger and screws, screwed it down. And so we'll do the exact same thing on this side. Okay, better level. So now I've moved to my back bracing. So I put my 2x4 up and I moved, like all I did was count each one of the sections. I went up 5 and made a mark on the board like that. Same thing over here, went up to the 5th section, made a mark, and then I stuck this piece over and laid it up on top. Since Laine is not helping me currently, that way I could get this side fastened down, and then all I'll do is I'll come back over here and do the same thing here. And so I made sure and used, when I measured, made sure I measured it to where I had one of these wires running this way. That way I could put that pipe hanger running over it like that. So now I have cut this other support, and very simple, just measured again to 50.5. That way I knew where to place it on the center. I measured this board also to make sure I put it in the halfway mark on that. And then I just drew a pencil mark up there and went and cut it. And same principle, I'll use that pipe hanger and go over that pipe right there. And then I'll screw it in here and screw it in down there. And that'll be my support for the rear. Well, the chicken coop is taking shape. What do you think about it, chicken lady?
Looking good, looking good. I love it. It's great now. It's just when we put the brown tarp on that's not pretty, but it's okay. It works.
Right there.
Yeah, it works.
Temporary.
Temporary.
So now I believe, I'm gonna have to double check, but I think now my next step is the chicken wire that we're gonna place over that. So let me get that stuff out and get it going. Watch out, Gabriel, I'm just gonna roll it over.
Watch out, guys. Watch out,
There it goes, look out.
Woo!
There it goes. So on this back side, how I fastened the chicken wire was just using these staples. They're not the normal staples that you would use for the cattle panels, like a fence staple. These are for like your wiring type staple that you use in houses a lot. So I just use those. They're a little bit smaller, a lot easier to nail in. I had some left over from our cabin build anyway. So that's how I fastened our chicken wire to the backside, was using those. I also fastened it along this 2x4 on the inside down there. I didn't film this process because I was a little bit nervous about how well I was going to do at making the door. I understand the simple basics of it, but I've never done it before, and so I wanted to build it instead of showing you me building it in case it was a total failure. And now I'm wishing that I would have just filmed it. But anyway, and so I don't think I did that bad of a job. Anyway, I'm gonna set the camera down and film the rest of this, me getting the door on. After I get the chicken wire on, I'm gonna go ahead and put the door on and check it and see if it's gonna work. But I think it's going to. I'm happy with the way it turned out and that I accomplished that part, because I was, like I said, nervous about it. So I've got my last section of my chicken wire laid out. You may not be able to see it very well, but I've probably only got about 6 feet of it, and yet I've got this whole front to do. So I started off my door in chicken wire on the bottom, but I had some more galvanized cattle panels, and so I'm going to make the top part of the door this galvanized part, which I think will be okay. If I have to go back in later and cover up this section, because it would have to be a pretty small raccoon to fit through there, but maybe he still could. I don't know, but I'll have to kind of see how that works. So I have a gap this is the reason why I left this cattle panel a little long, is because from the top of my coop down to the top of this door is about 3.5 inches. So I made this cattle panel a little long, and I went through and made pencil marks on all the spots. Don't need to cut the top piece, but I do need to cut some of these here so that it'll fit and cover up that gap there and not let critters into. Okay, Grady's gonna be my door tester. I just temporarily put it up there. What do you think?
I like it.
Think it'll work?
Yeah.
Think so too?
What about this right here?
Well, so I gotta put a latch. I'm gonna put a board on the back. Put a block on the back, and then I got a latch for the front. All right, let's put my block on the back. So now whenever it goes to shut, it just stops there. Okay, well, I've got the chicken wire all on. What I have to do now is put the tarp over the top, which will cover this back spot. I may get some more chicken wire and have that completely covered too. Because I guess a coon, if he wanted to, could crawl up between the tarp and this and try to get in. But I'm hoping I can, when I put the tarp on, I get it tight enough in the back. But we'll see. The tarp I got was a 10 by 16 heavy duty tarp. All right, so I got the tarp draped over it for right now. I neglected to get the washers. I have the screws, but I neglected to get the washers to fasten it to here. So I would just use a washer, screw it in. That's what would secure it to the 2x4 there. And I also need a nylon rope that I would use to run through all of the excess. And the reason why I have excess is because I want some light in the top. Maybe not a ton, but at least a little bit instead of covering it up completely. Thanks, buddy. But other than that, I'm gonna just go ahead and let the chickens in there for tonight and let them enjoy their coop. Okay, boys, it's time to let the chickens in. Let's get out. Put the chickens in there for the first time.
Wait,
See what they think about their new house. Okay, get the stuff out. Let's go get them. Where's the gate?
Right there, we're good. Right there. Come on out, girls. What is this new world?
Layla, get out here. I want to see.
They're like, we want back in.
Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Come on. Oh, those stinking Easter eggers flip their lid, don't they?
They're not as friendly as a buffalo.
Oh, that one just went right back in. This is a favorite. That's Greg. Come on, come on.
Enjoy your house, girls. Enjoy your house. Fly around. We got them all.
We got them. Yeah, close that so we go back home. We're gonna have it all.
Well, chicken coop is done. The chickens are in. And I must say, dinner's ready. That's what I gotta say. So, it's time to go eat, but thank you guys for watching this. This was a super easy project. Really wasn't difficult at all. Really quick, really easy, really inexpensive. Probably only took me, I would say a total of 5 to 6 hours. So now all I got left is just put the tarp on. Anybody can make a hoop coop. I don't know if we're gonna be homesteaders or what, but this is the step to us being more self-sufficient, having animals, going back into the farm life. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.